Good afternoon, America. This is Dennis Dragata with Real America Edition 18. And today I want to spend a little time with you about the Republican Party. Now, let me give you some reasons to vote as a Democrat in this up-and-coming November election. Number one, you earn less than $250,000. Number two, you're on Social Security. Number three, you're disabled. Number four, you're a single mother. Number five, you have no health insurance. Number six, you're African American or Hispanic. Number seven, you're unemployed. Now, there's a bunch of reasons for this, and they're all very, if you've been paying attention to the news, you notice that the Republicans have tried to stop the extended benefits for people that are unemployed. It's kind of funny. They put people out of work, and now they don't want them to have any benefits. The tax cuts for the rich will be over soon. That's a wonderful thing. But bear in mind, if you make less than $250,000, you still get the benefits of tax cuts. There are provisions out there for small businesses, for individuals. It's only the extremely wealthy people with $250,000 more of income who, chances are, in the past probably have not been paying their fair share anyhow. Now, Social Security ties in two things. That's disability and Social Security, because they're all part of one division of the government. Remember, the Republicans want to do away with Social Security. So if there's no Social Security, where do you think disability is going to go? It's going to go out the window. There'll be no provision for people that are disabled. So if there's no Social Security and you weren't able to save any money while you were working because you worked for a Republican who didn't pay you enough and didn't give you health insurance, I guess you might as well just shoot yourself. Maybe that's what they want. Maybe they would like a mass suicide of Democrats. We got to keep these knuckleheads out. They haven't got a lick of sense. They're not worth a hill of beans. And it's just absolutely scary to me to think that people are disappointed in the Democratic Party and want to put these clowns back in office. Let's talk about employment just for a second. Now, Republicans would like to have it where there's no minimum wage. In other words, they could pay you $2 or $3 an hour. They call that opportunity. And then after you work for 45 or 50 years at $2 or $3 an hour, there's not going to be any Social Security. So, well, chances are you would have died by the time you were 35 because you wouldn't even be able to afford a Happy Meal. But here's the thing. It's kind of funny that they protect themselves with golden parachutes. In other words, a CEO can come into a company, run it into the ground in 3 to 5 years, make $6 or $7 million a year, get a $10 million golden parachute, and leave and find another job. If I'm late 3 or 4 times, I get admonished, and chances are I'm sent on my way. These guys can destroy an entire company and walk into another one as a CEO position. I don't get it. Let's talk about the issue of religion for Republicans. Freedom of religion. But it only applies to Republicans' religion, because if you don't do what they do, go to the church that they go to, attend and believe in what they believe in, they're going to come down hard on your faith. Trust me, it's happening now all around us. Let's talk about abortion. This one is really the one that boggles my mind. They don't want abortion because it's immoral, but ask them to donate money to take care of children who have no mother because she's in prison, who have no father, maybe he died. They're not interested. I did a little experiment. I went to an abortion clinic. I stood in line and I questioned several people that were in the line, and they were picketing against abortion. The question I had for them was twofold. Number one, I understand your position, but let me ask you this. How much money do you donate each month towards children who are born that are unwanted to parents that can't take care of them? How much money do you actually kick into the till to feed and clothe these kids and make sure that they get a reasonable education and somewhat of a decent life? All of them said none. No money. They don't put any money aside for those kids. The next thing I said was, it was a question. I asked them, do you now or have you ever adopted a child or taken a child in as a foster parent? Guess what the answer was? No. So they didn't take care of any of these kids. They didn't pay for any of these kids, but they don't want abortions. And the last thing I said was, and I'm talking 50, 60 people in this little picketing line. The last thing, and I did not ask all of them. I asked as many as I could before they started to get angry with me. And the last thing I asked them was, how much time have you set aside in your life to mentor a child, to spend a little time with the child, to act as a big brother to a child? How many programs do you belong to? Have you ever belonged to a program? And are you considering it for the future? I got one that acted at some point in time in their life, not even currently, but at that time, just prior to that time, acted as a mentor for a child for a brief period of time. Now, you are either part of the problem or part of the solution. So I see these clowns in line, nothing more than part of the problem. In fact, they are what inspires people to shoot doctors that perform abortions. And thank God that hasn't been happening lately, but it has happened. Now, if you let the Republicans reverse Brown versus Wade, Brown and the Board of Education, Roe versus Wade, if they reverse that, what are we going to have again? Back alley abortions? Freedom goes beyond what you think it is, okay? Freedom really doesn't exist in this country. It's an illusion, okay? And the thing is if the Republicans come back into office, freedom slips even further from our hands than it ever has before. So before you vote for a Republican, you better make damn well sure you know what you're getting into. And let's talk about one last thing. I want to go back to the tax cuts. All right. The people that are whining about the tax cuts the most are two groups of people. Number one, people that don't even have a dog in the hunt. They don't qualify. They're not making $250,000. They're just running their mouth to make trouble. And the other group is the people that are already, what they're doing is they don't even have a business. They're not even paying taxes. They have a business maybe that's overseas. You know, look at how many of these credit card companies, AT&T credit card companies, that take their business, okay, their call rooms, and take them to overseas corporations and set up places where they're paying 30 cents an hour. That's what they're fighting against. They don't want to pay any taxes. It's not that they're going to pay more. We've got to hold their feet to the fire. I know this has been a terrible edition, but this is so emotional for me because it makes me so angry that people want to talk about Obama. You know, Rome was on fire, Nero fiddled, and here we have these clown Republicans out here who don't want to do anything. They want to fiddle and watch this country burn. And they've got people convinced that they need to get back into office. That's a scary thought to me. Don't do it. Don't put a Republican in office. Put a Democrat back in, at least for now. Maybe we can bump them in the head and make them get moving. But for God's sake, don't put a Republican in office. This is Dennis Stragata with Real America urging you to vote Democratic. Keep President Obama in office. He's done a pretty good job. He's got a lot of way to go. We know that. He's not getting any help from the other side. So let's give him some help from this side. This is Dennis Stragata with Real America 2010. This is edition 18. Have a great day. Vote Democratic.